It is so important as a business owner that you stay very grounded and centered when your business is feeling really chaotic. And I believe that's probably the number one issue that I see in coaching business owners. And I can't really say that women struggle with it more than men, Dr. Sabrina. I think it's really equal. And the bottom line is we're constantly giving of ourselves to everyone else, our business, our family members, before we really take time for ourselves. And when you don't take care of yourself first, you really can't show up and make good decisions when you're under pressure. So today we would just want to share some wonderful tips to support you as you're running your business, to take care of yourself first and stay grounded so that you can show up as your best self.
Melissa, it is so hard for us business owners because when we have a growing business, we're building the plane as we fly it. And that means that there are going to be things that fall apart, that aren't working the way they're supposed to, and that feel in the moment like it's a huge crisis. So on a daily basis, multiple times a day, we can get tossed into reactive mode and feeling that fight or flight, like we're under pressure. And so our ability to ground and recenter over and over and over throughout the day is critical. And this is the number one muscle that if we entrepreneurs can build this muscle, it is going to serve us in so many ways, because every decision we make has implications for the team members, our customers and clients, our revenue, cash flow. All of that is affected with almost every decision we make. And so we really need to be able to make our multiple decisions a day from a grounded place.
Yeah. So I want everyone to listen up here. We have so many listeners and clients who are Melissifying their schedule and following all of my time strategy techniques that are phenomenal, because we're just giving you back so many hours a week to your life. This is my number one tip. Create a time block in your schedule to connect with yourself first every day. And before you shift from your business to your home life, create a time block to connect with yourself, because connecting with yourself first is the most important thing that you can do. And as a business owner, you're the most important person in the business. So if you're abandoning yourself and putting everyone else first, your team is going to feel that, your decisions are going to be impacted, and you're just going to be pulling further away from your vision and your why for creating this business. So I just want to share as we get started, Dr. Sabrina, most people don't know what to do. So we get caught up in the how. So what am I supposed to do with an extra 15 minutes or 30 minutes a day? And I just want to be super clear. It's not about the how. It's not even about what you do. It's about creating a sacred space for yourself, giving yourself permission to just be.
Yeah. Okay, that just being piece is so hard.
Yeah.
We're not used to it. And when we have adrenaline and the stress hormones coursing through our body, slowing down to just be can feel impossible. Like our mind is racing. It's just going, going, going. And I heard a good friend, Dave Lowen, the other day. He said, "Human beings aren't good at nothing." I was like, "Oh my gosh, that captures everything that we struggle with, because we're not good at doing nothing. We're not good at just being and allowing nothingness in that space." But that is what causes our nervous system to downshift and to reset and get into a calmer space.
Mhm. Yeah, and if you have a hard time shutting the noise off in your head so that you can just be, one simple tip is to just journal, and just a few pages, just whatever comes to mind, just let it free flow. It could be what you're making for dinner, or the team member that called out that day, or the 10 things on your to-do list. Just go with it and just journal. It doesn't even have to be legible, just get it out there. If you can practice doing that first thing in the morning as your self-care routine, then you can follow that up with other things like some breath work. Dr. Sabrina, I know that you do this as well. What has been your experience with journaling?
So journaling is very helpful for me when I have things that circle over and over in my head. I just write them down, and the physical act of writing is more valuable than typing. So get paper and pencil or paper and pen, get away from your keyboard and the screens, and just write it down.
Okay, that's a perfect point. So when we're talking about this time to yourself, whether it's in the morning, in the evening, don't do it in your office in front of your screen. Like, make a place in your home, or go out and take a walk and really get outside of that environment so that you can be fully focused. So Dr. Sabrina, can you give us a tip on breath work? So this is something that we do together to calm our nervous systems, and we do this with our clients when we are creating Dreamstorm sessions. Anything that we need to do to really connect with ourselves, breath work is very important. So can you walk us through what that looks like?
Yeah, and I'm gonna give a real life experience. Last night, I was getting ready for bed, and I was walking in, and I was heating something up in the microwave, and I thought it's a minute and a half. I'm going to stand there and I'm going to do breath work. But between walking into my kitchen and getting to the microwave, I picked up my phone and I got on Facebook and I started scrolling. And like within a minute and a half, I saw 3 things on Facebook that triggered me. Like, that amped me up or made me feel a certain way, or, created feelings in me. My microwave finished and I walked back to my bedroom to get in bed. And I thought, look what I just did to myself. I totally sabotaged. I could have had a minute and a half of just breathing and calming, but now I have to get in bed and I have to work through all those feelings that got stirred up from Facebook. And so when there's a few things around breath work that I found really helpful. Number one is the more cues we can put in our environment that support us in calming down when we're trying to do breath work, the better. And so, like, playing peaceful music and if you do that every time you do breath work, that when you hear that music, it will be a cue to slow your breathing down. Smell, our olfactory sense is the most powerful sense. And so lavender oil, if you put a few drops of that on your wrist and then take 3 deep breaths, every time you smell lavender oil, you are starting to create an association to calm your body down and breathe more deeply. And so that is like my number one hack, is sound and smell and cues in our environment that will help us get into that more relaxed state as we do breath work. So breath work can be very simple. And the thing that I do throughout the day, whenever things are going on that get me amped up, 3 deep breaths. And when you really slow down and breathe from your belly and breathe in and then slowly let it out, you can't do 3 deep breaths in 10 seconds. Like, it's a extended time. And in that extended time, your nervous system settles down. And so let's just imagine the typical day of a business owner. There's one crisis after the other. You're putting out one fire after the other, and you're not stopping. And so you're just going, and you're making all these decisions, and you're having all these reactions from a place of stress and adrenaline and reactivity. But if you change that up and you do 3 deep breaths before you make a decision or a judgment call, you're slowing everything down. You slow the people down around you.
Mhm.
You give them time. And what's amazing about deep breathing is we mirror each other unconsciously and don't even notice it. Like if you notice when you have a conversation with someone and they're really paying attention, they will mirror your body language if they're paying attention to what you're saying and drawn into it. The same thing when you're breathing deeply. The people around you will start to breathe more deeply. Have you ever noticed like a yawn is contagious?
Mhm.
Deep breathing can be contagious, just like yawning. And so this is a really good tool to use on your team. Like if you're in a meeting and things are heated, you just pause and take some deep breaths, and the people around you will do the same. And it brings everyone down a notch. I find that a lot of the stress and chaos that I've created in my business over the years has come out of rapid fire decisions of me trying to solve a problem on the fly, and getting into the habit of recognizing when something actually needs to be solved in this moment versus I want to put a pin in this and I want to think about this and I'm going to come back to this tomorrow after I've had some time to sleep on it. If I would have done that just 10% more in the 20 years I've been in business, I think the stress level would be considerably lower than I experienced over those 20 years in business. So that is something that can really help. And I was talking to my daughter, Kylie, who works with us at Tap the Potential. She's also in college. She trains horses. And she called me right before we were going into this discussion, Melissa. And she said, Mom, you're not going to believe what just happened yesterday. And so she was telling me about, she was working with her trainer and her horse bucked up and almost knocked her off. And she stayed calm and she managed it. I said, Kylie, how do you do that? what are your tips for, because she is notorious for staying calm in really difficult, stressful situations. And she said, well, I don't know. When I'm in the moment and things are really stressful, I just do what needs to be done. And I said, okay, I get that. What do you do after, like when the adrenaline starts kicking in, and how do you settle down afterwards? And she said, here's the thing. I think our society talks so much about stress and depression and anxiety that we're all running around in our heads telling ourselves that we are stressed, depressed, and anxious. And she said, our self-talk feeds our anxiety. And I was like, she's 19. I'm like, how do you know this at 19? And I said, that's true. I think you're right. So it's, we need to be aware of our self-talk. And then she went on to say, she said, look, when something really upsets me, I have learned I give myself 15 minutes or however long I need to cry, to vent, to let it out. She said, after that time is up, I go back to being a bad bitch.
Whoa! I love that.
So, just give ourselves that space. So in our work days, do we ever give ourselves that space to be upset? A lot of times, no. Like we just absorb it and we keep going.
Mm-hmm.
But creating that time to step away from the situation and maybe go walk outside and punch something or, just scream loudly or whatever feeling we need to vent out, give ourselves the 10 or 15 minutes to do that. And then come back into the situation. And I would recommend taking some deep breaths at that point and then deciding, is this something I need to handle now or can it wait? Can I get back to this tomorrow when I'm in a better place?
Wow. Such wise words. She's brilliant. Along with that, it's important to celebrate your wins as a business owner. So that self-talk is critical. And we are too hard on ourselves, beating ourselves up and constantly saying, well, I haven't gotten this done and I still have to do that. And at the end of the day, we're looking at this long list of tasks that we never get completed, and we just beat ourselves up. And by the way, probably 75-80% of those tasks don't even need to get done.
Yeah.
So one thing that's really important is celebrating those wins. And if you're tuning in, you are a total badass. Like, let's just be real. You are working hard. You're a legacy builder. You're creating a great place to work. You're creating a great life for yourself. It's important for you to take a moment each day and just say, here is what I accomplished today. Here's what I'm celebrating. It could be something small.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. You need to celebrate yourself. And that's what we do with our coaching clients. Every time I hop on a call with someone, my first question is, what are we celebrating with you today? We want to acknowledge that and own it. So I want to reflect back on something that you said about using essential oils and creating a safe space that's calm and grounded is vital to you moving through your day with ease. So I'll give you a few tips here, and Dr. Sabrina, I'd love to hear yours. My office is extremely calm and inviting. I've got plants everywhere. I've got stones. I always have my diffuser running with my lavender oil, and I keep essential oil roll-ons by my desk, lotions, like all of these different things to support my mindset and help calm and ground me. And that really pushes the needle forward tremendously for me. And then I also have like affirmations by my desk. So when we are reflecting back on that self-talk, it's really important to remind ourselves of specific things to keep us motivated. So that is really important. And I'm curious, is there anything that you keep? Of course, I have mementos in my own artwork. Hobbies are really important for your self-care, so make sure you're prioritizing those. But is there anything that you keep in your office space that motivates you?
My secret hack that I have been using for years is my password to my computer is a motivational phrase.
Oh,
So I am, and then I'm not going to say it out loud because then I'm giving away my password to my computer, but it's a verb and it's the present tense. So it ends in ing. So I am blank ing. And every time my computer locks up and I have to unlock it, I have to type that in. And that is a very powerful affirmation for me. In our household, and I think a lot of our listeners probably have this situation going on too, our evenings are very busy because of my daughter's swim team practice. We get home, I've got to get supper on the table. I'm trying to help her with her homework, get her in bed at a decent time because we have farm animals, all these goats and horses that need to be fed at night and in the morning. So I mean, it's just absolute chaos. And so I'm very intentional. I've really thought through like what time certain things need to happen around in the evening in order for us to get in bed on time. But even beyond that, I'm very intentional in that last hour before bedtime that I lower the lights. We eat by candlelight. And, you know, here I am, myself and an 11-year-old eating by candlelight with soft music in the background. It looks very romantic. It's not about being romantic. It's about just calming our nervous system after a busy day. The other thing that I have done is I have a meal delivery service that prepares healthy food for us and delivers it once a week. So we have healthy meals prepared in the evenings throughout the work week that I can pull out and get ready within 5 minutes of us getting home. And that took tremendous pressure off of me because there's nothing worse as a business owner than working all day and running your kids to the activities. And then you got to come home and go, oh yeah, we have to eat. And you open the fridge and like, there's nothing. And then you have to make something from scratch and you're so tired. Your brain, like my brain can't even function at that point. And so none of this has been easy. Like it's taken me a lot of months to sort out all the things. But really looking at and the big question is, what do we need in the evenings to be able to have calm and peace and a good night's sleep? And so I really encourage our listeners to reflect on that, because sleep is the hack. When we get good sleep as business owners, our nervous system is totally calm when we get up the next day. And the hard thing is, we're running on adrenaline throughout the day if we're reacting, and then we're trying to go to bed at night and our minds are just spinning. And so if we can start breaking that cycle where we can calm down in the evenings and have wind down, and this means stay off the screens, because you just heard my example of what happened when I picked up my phone for a minute and a half on Facebook, how it amped me back up. And so stay off the screen, stop scrolling. I like to be connected, so I like to know what's going on with people around me. I give myself 10 or 15 minutes a day in the middle of the day, and that's really the best time, and then stop and cut it out after that.
Yeah, I love that tip. You shared on a podcast episode a while back about the importance of screen time, and challenged our listeners to open up their phone and take a look at how much screen time they were spending. And that really resonated with me. And I've been working diligently on calming my nervous system over the past few weeks. And there's a couple of things that I've just transformed, and I feel like a completely different human by calming myself and honoring what I need. I have been sleeping like 8-10 hours a night, which is insane. I used to get up at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning and my brain was just spinning. I'm not doing that anymore. The other thing is I'm giving myself permission to put my phone down. So it's on silent pretty much all the time. And when I respond is when I respond. I respond when my nervous system is ready to deal with whatever I'm going to be seeing on that phone. And I've told the important people to me, I'm going to answer when it's a good time for me. And that itself has been life-changing, because I used to just walk through my house, through my office all day long with my phone in my hand. And now it's like, well, what do I do with my phone? It is so liberating. And then when I do answer a text message or a phone call, those people that I care about get the benefit of having my full presence and my full focus on them. That changed everything.
Yes, absolutely. That full presence that we bring when we are at choice with when we are on our phone and responding is so powerful in our relationships. People feel it. They feel the connection. And speaking of feeling, Melissa, I would love to hear you describe what you notice about how you feel differently after consistently getting 8 to 10 hours of sleep at night.
I feel in a constant state of calm and peace. I am not rushing anymore. So a few weeks ago, it was, oh my goodness, what do I have to have done today? What do I need to prepare for today? And now when I wake up, I have slow mornings. That is something new for me. I used to try to get up and pack things in, as you know. Now it's, I wake up and I just take care of myself. So I feel completely connected to myself, and I know myself more than I ever have. And I just enjoy my coffee, and I take time to feel the warmth of the cup in my hand, to smell the aroma. And I owe this to Donna Krebs on our team, by the way, who just sees the beauty in every small thing. She really supported me through just connecting with the little moments in life recently. So having that time to connect with myself, and I've also given myself permission to show up an hour later every morning for work. Where I used to try to jump in by 7 or 8 o'clock and start knocking out things, now I wait an hour. And the ironic thing is I'm getting the same amount done and more. And I'm feeling calm the whole time. So I know what I'm delivering is even better. So when I'm showing up to our calls, I've always been fully present at work and with our clients. But now, not only am I fully present with them, I'm fully present with myself. So I feel like they're getting a better version of me. And then
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, I'm no longer so tired that I can't do things that I love. So now I can paint after work. Now I can read a book. That has just changed everything.
That's incredible because you're doing a full work day and then you have energy left over to paint or read or do something that fills you up.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times our experience when we rush through our days is in the evening we're so fried we want to zone out. So the TV comes on, we start scrolling on social, and we're not doing anything productive. And we think we're winding down, but all it's doing is just amping us up.
Mm-hmm.
And so what you just described is a very like you're calm and it's giving you energy.
Yeah. And it's okay as a business owner to ask for what you need, state what you need, and not have to fake it. I think as business owners, we show up with our team members and fake things, and you don't need to do that. The best thing you can do is take care of yourself because you're modeling to your team members that it's okay for them to take care of themselves. It's just like the time off. So, Dr. Sabrina, as you take time off work, you're modeling for me, it's okay for me to take time off.
Mm-hmm.
This is the same in your self-care. And when you just come fully present and your nervous system is settled and just say, okay, I don't have to have the answer to this. I don't need to solve this today. Let's pause it until
Mm-hmm.
everyone comes to the table at full capacity. Then there's going to be so much more effective resolutions for any challenges that you're facing in your business. And the one last thing that I want to make sure I share that's really important for grounding you as a business owner is you must have a vision, this clear, compelling vision statement, story for your business that states, here's why we exist, and here's where we're going. And it's important to reflect on that periodically. I would suggest even daily. I have hours posted up and I reflect on that every day. And that is what will keep you grounded as you're making all of your business decisions. And all of the overthinking and anxiety and stress as opportunities come up, when you have that vision statement, it becomes simple. You ask yourself, does this decision take me towards or away from my vision? And that's it.
Well, and I want to give another variation of that question that Amy discussed with Caitlin and I in a meeting yesterday. And that is, we have this vision of our business of where we're headed, and we need to make decisions not on where we are now,
Mm.
but from the mindset of the person who is experiencing that vision. And so she challenged Caitlin to hold our clients to that when they're making decisions about our services at Tap the Potential. That are you making this decision based on the current stress in your business now, or are you making this decision based on the vision of what you're creating? And she pointed out how I consistently for Tap the Potential make decisions from what we're creating in that place where we want to be versus what's going on right now. And I would encourage every business owner to, when you're facing decisions to be grounding and connecting with your vision and saying, this person who's living this vision, what do they decide in this moment?
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I think that sometimes it can be challenging to figure that out yourself. So I want to offer some support for you. If you haven't taken our assessment, or maybe you did take it and it's been a little while, take it again. So just go to tapthepotential.com/assessment, and we're going to ask you some powerful questions to help you connect to yourself and to your business. And then Caitlin will hop on a call with you. And this is really going to support you to be more grounded and understand where you are and the next steps to where you're going. So again, that's tapthepotential.com /assessment. Dr. Sabrina, any more gold nuggets you'd like to share as we wrap up?
No, I think the gold nugget is take one thing that you heard Melissa and I share today and try it. One thing that resonates with you, and allow yourself to start experiencing the difference when you're more grounded.
Love it. Thank you for tuning in today. We will see you next week on the Profit by Design podcast.